Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin Mari here today with another Action Taimanin video. So, we have no new news as far as anything that could potentially be happening in the game, so I'm going to assume it's another boring dead update week. But I decided we're going to play casual Rinko today. So, the other day after the tier list, people were kind of complaining that Ingrid was so low, but in my opinion, she's just not that great of a supporter. So what we did is we kind of started playtesting her, I don't know why, on Rinko. Oh, that's why, because of Kieran. And tried to make the most of her particle regen and her damage that she gives to weapons. And we came up with this. It's just a casual build, it's not like super great, but it is super fun and neat to look at. So I'm going to just show you the gameplay until she inevitably dies to Aina, and then I'll share the build with you guys. Let's get right into it. First we're going to pop Miss Ingrid here. And the trick is to try to land a perfect dodge, but doesn't really need it like with the way these guys are attacking right now. Okay. There we go. So fun to play, but God, it's like still not that great. But yeah, this is essentially what we've come up with. It's really neat because of like the AoE potential. And the shift has this nice stun on it that just like brings it all together when you have the enemies clumped like this. But overall, I just don't find Ingrid to be that great of a supporter. Like, I know someone tried to say she gives a good amount of damage, but like she doesn't really do that much damage. She's only doing like 80k. And Rinko just overall has gotten kind of left in like a mediocre place as far as like PvE goes. She's still good in PvP, but I just wish overall that she was like a better character. I feel like they really typecasted her too far into Meteor. I will admit though, like when Tack and I were messing around with this build, I do think it's insanely fun to play. It's just, you know, she's just not that good. It's just reality. Kill this stupid doggo. Oh my god. Okay, neat. The other issue with running Red Rinko is we just simply have no sustain, but it's all good. Like, this build will definitely do fine, like, anywhere else. It's just, like, I'm using it on bonus stage 3, so that you guys can kind of, like, see the rotation play out, where you dodge and then you use the shift. And then, like, fish for red wind slice. Because it's insanely fun to do, like, just getting them all in that clump and then doing an AoE on them. It's so satisfying. And it looks so freaking cool, oh my god. Just gonna whittle this guy down. I could be using Kieran more also, but I'm kind of trying to hold it for like when she really needs AoE damage for like, say, the boss. Okay. Oh my god. There we go. Alright. Now this is where things are just going to get horrible for her. Okay. That's the worst part about Aina. Like, Rinko just, it's almost like unsafe to really do anything. You have to try to, like, attack when she's in recovery, but it's really hard to gauge that because she can just, you know, decide to shoot you on a whim. Yeah, I might actually be able to do it. If I can clear this with Rinko, that'd be nice. I'm not getting excited or anything. Oh, that was terrible. That ultimate dodge did more bad than good. But that shift was good. Okay. Oh, oh, ow. My little body. We were in a good place and then we got hit. Oh, that laser. Okay, we're going this way now. Oh man, I accidentally hit dodge twice. But yeah, like it's an okay build. I wouldn't take it in here. It has no sustain. But I wanted to just showcase it. Like, I'm not great with Rinko either, so maybe someone who's better with her can have more success. But that's overall, like, okay, Ingrid, we're going to talk about this first. I don't think this is that great of a supporter. It cuts your ultimate damage, and yeah, you do get some nice particle regen, but the damage it makes your weapon do still doesn't, like, add up to what an ult would be doing. As I know on some of my more gear characters, I've seen ultimates hit like 900k plus with ease. Even against a boss like Ina, where she cuts your ultimate damage down, like they can still hit like 500-600k. So with that being said, I don't think that 35% damage to weapon skills is really all that great. And yes, I do feel that she's a niche supporter, which is why we put her in C tier. Like, she gives you an amazing particle charge, she makes your weapons a little better, but there's really, like, no really good weapon actives. I think, like, out of all of them, Kieran is probably the best one. So with all that being said, like, the Kieran was doing, like, at most 150k, like, at absolute most. And this is with full red Magatamas with the proper rolls on them, like increased damage dealt to all enemies down the line. So, I don't know, man. It's up to you guys what you think. Personally, like, I probably would get more success throwing, like, a Spica here and just going for, like, some sort of other build, or just going, like, full green Rinko, running Yuna and the Crit Girls. Or Yuno and the Crit Girls, sorry. But it is what it is. Like, this is just a casual for fun build that kind of came about from me trying to playtest Ingrid with Rinko. So, as far as skills, we are running the Wind Slice. Now, when you use this ability red, she will do like a double slash instead of passing through them and doing the Virgil. The good thing about that double slash is it does kind of beat on shields really well, making it much easier to get off the red shift, which would, if you land it, will stun the enemy. Now, if you do have the enemies clumped up in either a spatial rift or if they're just conveniently clumped up anyway, and you break their shields, then the shift is a great way to just mass stun the pack, which there were plenty of examples in the gameplay. And of course, Spatial Rift is because once you break the super armor, the enemies will be sucked into it, and it's just a good way to consolidate them, so you can do what the build is meant to do and spam Kieran's active. You will not be using your ultimate with this build, obviously. You will be going for Kieran Blast, and you are still trying to fish for basic attacks despite not running Taimanin Art. In fact, if you have the fourth skill slot, I would put the Taimanin Art in. The only reason it is not in the main build is simply because it just didn't really work without running these three skills in tandem. And always try to make sure that you're popping super armor before you fish for a spatial rift. Even if one gets off, it's not that big of a deal because it does persist for a very long time with red, since the duration is increased by 50%. But just keep in mind it will not suck enemies in unless their super armor is broken. And also keep in mind you will not have sustain, so try not to get hit. As you saw against Aina, I got hit one time really, really hard, and it kind of just messed up the chance of clearing. But that is the furthest I ever got with Rinko, so I'm not mad about it. And if anything, like, it just makes me think Rinko's a little bit better than what we thought, but she's still not that strong of a character at the moment, just because blue isn't a super strong color unless you have, like, whale supporters like the Rinko supporter or Murasaki. And she's so typecast into blue, it's just kind of unfortunate. But if you ever want to play her red, this is a fun little build. Now, let's explain the other two supporters. Homura for 30% damage, obviously. And since the main DPS of this build is Kirin, and Kirin is range damage, we are running Nino Weaver. In fact, when we took Nino off of Rinko, her Kirin was only doing roughly like 80 to 100k. So, yeah, this supporter's 30% does make a big difference when you're trying to burn stuff down with Kirin. And the Kirin does hit really hard. I just, again, don't think that it's comparable enough to an ult for me to warrant, like, speccing into Ingrid specifically to just Kirin spam. And I don't think there's really any other weapon that compares to Kirin, like, as far as damage output from an active. I think Kirin is the best one that has one of the better AoEs on it. So it is what it is. Like, Ingrid's an okay supporter. Just because she's in niche tier doesn't mean she's bad. She's just niche. You're only going to ever want to use her if you're trying to fill out the weapon skill situation, or you're just looking for particle charge to exploit Sue. Outside of that, like, Hellfire's okay, but it's not the greatest. And her active, again, is just okay. Like, it's good for damage and shield popping. So, like, honestly, in this build, Ingrid's active kind of serves the purpose of, like, say, what Wind Slice would do, where I use it to try and pop shields and get a shift off. That's essentially what we use Ingrid for as well, to try and pop shields, to land shift, and to suck enemies in with Spatial Rift to continue the Kirin spam. And that's pretty much the build. Like, outside of Nino and Homura, like, I think most people have a Nino by now if they played through that event. And Homura is relatively easy to get due to being super rare, so you'll eventually come across one. Ingrid was given out free to play, but she is limited, so if you don't have her, unfortunately, you can't get her at the moment. But anyone who played during the Waifu War, she was really accessible to get. And yeah, feel free to try this build out. And like I said, I don't endorse it for bonus and tower, but if you can get in there and you're good enough with Rinko that you're not getting hit, she'll definitely put out the damage to clear the content, and she'll look really cool doing it. So with all that being said, that'll be the video. I just wanted to, like, kind of show you guys some gameplay because, yeah, there's not really any news coming. I heard rumors of, like, leaks being removed from Twitter, but I don't know what those leaks were about, and obviously, even if I did, I couldn't share them anyway because they may very well content ID me, but I genuinely don't know. I just heard that the artist of Kirara, Yuki, and Shiranui, Aoi Nagisa, was reporting people for leaking AT content, but I have no idea what that content is pertaining to. But if it's something so important that they are looking to get it removed from Twitter, maybe we'll have something nice coming next week with the update, or in the coming weeks. Hopefully a tower reset. Like, that's what I really, really want, because it's the most rewarding content in this game. But either way, as per usual, we will go ahead and talk about whatever they do in the update tomorrow. And if it is an empty update, I don't know, I'll probably show you guys more gameplay. So with all that being said, thanks for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day. Good luck in all facets of the game. And with that, you boys and gals take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.